yeah. Oh, yeah. Can you feel that? Can you feel that? Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Keys to the Jet podcast. I'm your host, Red. I'm here to talk about some stuff, some cool stuff, like normal. Let's talk about aviation stuff, because that's what we do here. The Keys to the Jet, we talk about aviation maintenance. We talk about aviation history. We talk about the news. This day in aviation, we talk about all kinds of shit that you love, that you like. Yeah. You can catch our podcast on anywhere podcasts are broadcast. Amazon, Apple, Spotify, shoot, iHeartRadio. We're on them all, dude. All right. First off, let me go into, thanking everybody for listening. And if you have listened, if you're a returning listener, thank you very much. I appreciate your support. If you're first time here, welcome to the podcast. We are a podcast created by aviation maintainers, military aviation maintainers. Yeah, I don't do that anymore. I'm a janitor, but I like to talk about it, keep the memory alive, especially like as I get older. And then like, I didn't take many pictures in the military. So it's like when I get old timers, it's going to fade away. So I'll talk about it as much as I can, talk about like stepping in or putting my knee in people's dip spit underneath aircraft while trying to remove parts, or accidentally drinking a bottle of dip because it looked like Diet Pepsi. It's great. Maintainers are one of a kind. Well, maintainers are maintainers, and we're pretty awesome. We're all-purpose gorillas. And yeah, that's what we do. We're monkeys with wrenches. We'll fix stuff. Well, just watch us. It might be a mess at first, but we'll fucking fix it. All right. Also, like to thank our patrons. I'm going to start calling you the Keys to the Jet Ramp Rats. So when I get shirts made, that's what it's going to say. I'm a Keys to the Jet Ramp Rat, or I'm a Ramp Rat. Some shit like that. But welcome, you're a Ramp Rat. That's what you are now. That's your group. That's your crew. That's your crew as a Ramp Rat. That's what you are. All right? Freaky Freeland, Gregory, the Mayor, Goodyear, Cody. Fuck you, Cody. You all are Ramp Rats. All right? And if you can join our Patreon for only $5 a month, and you could be a Ramp Rat too. Wouldn't that be awesome? I think it'd be awesome because everybody loves being a Ramp Rat. You do all the intake inspections on through flights and BPO pre's. Woo! Isn't that fun? Fucking Ramp Rats. And fuck you, Cody. Anyways, I digress. Let's get into, let's get into some stuff. Let's get into this day in aviation. There's some certain ones that I'm trying to find here, or some good ones that I'm trying to find here. Something about the rocket in space, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Okay. 20 May 1967, Colonel Robin Olds, U.S. Air Force, commanding officer of the 8th Tactical Fighter Wing, based at Ubon Ratchathani Royal Thai Air Force Base, and Weapons System Officer First Lieutenant Stephen B. Croker destroyed two Vietnam People's Air Force MiG-17 fighters with AIM-7 Sparrow radar guided and AIM-9 Sidewinder heat-seeking air-to-air missiles while flying McDonnell Douglas or McDonnell F-4C Phantom II. And an official U.S. Air Force, I should talk like this since, again, it's past stuff, right? It's in the past. Or not in the past, but I mean, you know how the fucking reporters did when they were talking like this. An official U.S. Air Force history publication describes the air battle. Two other MiG-17s became the victims of Colonel Robin Olds and his pilot, First Lieutenant Stephen B. Croker. These were aerial victories 3 and 4 for Olds, making him the leading MiG killer at the time in Southeast Asia. An ace from World War II, the 8th TFW commander was battle-tested and experienced. Olds termed the events of 20 May quite a remarkable air battle, according to his account. F-105s were bombing along the Northeast Railroad. We were in escort position coming in from the Gulf of Tonkin. How did he talk? That's why I want to know. Hold on. What do you think he talked like? Do you think he was like, where's he from? You know, I'm going to do an episode on that guy, but I think he's going to talk. Well, no, I think he's going to talk like this. He's real tough. Let's have him talk like this. I'm probably destroying his voice, but I'm sorry. I'll make sure to do it correctly. The F-105s were bombing along the Northeast Railroad. We were in escort position, coming in from the Gulf of Tonkin. We just cleared the last of the low hills lying north of Haiphong. And in an east-west direction when about 10 or 12 MiG-17s came in low from the left and I believe from the right. They tried to attack the F-105s before they got to the target. We engaged the MiG-17s approximately 15 miles short of the target. The ensuing battle was an exact replica of the dogfights in World War II. Our flights of F-4s piled into the MiGs like a sledgehammer. And for about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, that was the most confused, vicious dogfight I've ever been in. There were 8 F-4Cs, 12 MiG-17s, and 1 odd flight of F-105s on their way out from the target who flashed through the battle area. Well, yeah, F-105s, man. The Thud, dude. They just fucking... The Thunder Chief? They just fucking put on full AB and they're gone, dude. But that's going to be another video that I'd like to do, you know? Quite frankly, there was not only danger from the guns of the MiGs, but the ever-present danger of collision to contend with. We went round and round that day with the battles lasting 12 to 14 minutes, which is a long time. This particular day, we found that the MiGs went into a defensive battle down low, about 500 to 1,000 feet. In the middle of this circle, there were 2 or 3 MiGs circling about 100 feet, sort of in figure 8 patterns. The MiGs were in small groups of 2, 3, and sometimes 4 in a very wide circle. Each time we went in to engage one of these groups, a group from the opposite side would go full power, pull across the circle, and be in fire position on our tails, almost before we could get into fire position with our missiles. This was very distressing, to say the least. The first MiG I lined up was in a gentle left turn. Range about 7,000 feet. My pilot achieved a bore sight lock-on. Went full system, narrow gate, interlocks in. One of the 2 Sparrows fired in a ripple-guided true and exploded near the MiG. My pilot saw the MiG erupt in flame and go down to the left. We attacked again, trying to break up that defensive wheel. Finally, once again, fuel considerations necessitated departure. As I left the area by myself, I saw that lone MiG still circling, so I ran out about 10 miles and said that even if I ran out of fuel, he's going to know who he was in a fight. To know he was in a fight, yeah. I got down on the deck about 50 feet, headed right for him. I don't think he saw me for quite a while, but when he did, he went mad, twisting, turning, dodging, and trying to get away. I kept my speed down so I wouldn't overrun him. I stayed behind him. I knew he was either going to hit that ridge ahead or pop over the ridge to save himself. The minute he popped over, I was going to get him with a Sidewinder. I fired one AIM-9, which did not track, and the MiG pulled up over the ridge. Turned left and gave me a dead eastern shot. I obtained a good growl. I fired from 25 to 50 feet off the grass, and he was clear off the ridge by only 50 to 100 feet when the Sidewinder caught him. The missile tracked and exploded 5 to 10 feet to the right side of the aft fuselage. The MiG spewed pieces and broke hard left and down from about 200 feet. I overshot and lost sight of him. I was quite out of fuel in all the missiles and pretty deep in enemy territory all by myself, so it was high time we leave. We learned quite a bit from this fight. We learned you don't pile into these fellows with 8 airplanes all at once. You're only detriment to yourself. That's pretty cool, dude. Colonel Olds, that F4, apparently F4C was called SCAT. XXVII. Yes. And it is currently in the Wright Pat Air Force Base in the U.S. Air Force Museum. Let's see. Uh, 20 May 1948, the first production of North American Aviation P-86 made its first flight. The P-86 was very similar to the three XP-86 prototypes as an operational fighter. Its empty weight increased 347 pounds to 10,077 pounds. The Chevrolet J35 C3 and Allison J35 engines were replaced with a more powerful General Electric. Still, the prototypes won out a Chevy motor. Dang, dude. That's pretty cool, man. The P-86 or F-86 is pretty cool. Let's see. La 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 la. Oh, 20 May 1941, North American Aviation Inc. test pilot Robert Creed Chilton took the first XB-51 for its maiden flight at Mines Field, Los Angeles, California. The X-51 was the fourth production Mustang Mk1 built for the Royal Air Force. The Mustang was reassigned to the U.S. Army Air Force, designated as XP-51 serial number, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. The Mustang was powered by a liquid-cooled supercharged Allison Engineering Company single overhead cam V12 engine with a compression ratio of 6.85.1. The F3R had a normal power rating of 880 horsepower at 2,600 RPM. Pretty cool, dude. Oh, Amelia Earhart's Lockheed Electra 10E Special. What about it? For her around-the-world flight, the airplane that Amelia Earhart chose was the Lockheed Electra 10E, manufactured by Lockheed Aircraft Company, Burbank, California. The Electra Model 10 was an all-metal twin-engine low-wing monoplane with retractable landing gear. Designed as a medium-range airliner. In the standard configuration, it carried a crew of 2 and up to 10 passengers. You put a lot of stuff in there, dude. Yeah, she flew it. She flew all kinds of stuff. She did things and went places and flew. Let's see what else is going on here. That's all for today for this day in aviation. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. All right, let's go into some news here. Let's go into some news. Dang. I'm going to keep changing the music every time we go into something different, you know? Just it's better that way. Sorry about that. Sorry about that pause here. Both Air Force CCAs now in ground testing, expected to fly this summer. If you don't know what a CCA is, neither do I. So, I mean, we can try to guess. Oh, no. Here it is. General Atomics version of a collaborative combat aircraft, CCA. The YFQ 42A began ground testing May 7th and is expected to have its first flight this summer. Oh, wow. Looks like a little toy. General Atomics announced Monday the ground testing the YFQ 42A began earlier this month in collaborative combat and is expected to have its first flight this summer. In a statement, General Atomics said their CCA's ground testing began May 7th. I can't talk. I can't talk right now. The YFQ 42A is an exciting step in our company. David Alexander, President of General Atomics Aeronautics Systems, said in a statement it reflects many years of partnership with the U.S. Air Force by advancing unmanned combat aviation for the United States and its allies around the world. And we're excited to begin ground testing and move to first flight. Cool story, bro. Cool story. Pardon me. CCAs are uncrewed semi-autonomous drones that will fly alongside aircraft like the F-35 and the F-47. Fucking Boeing. Also known as the Next Generation Air Dominance. The purpose is to expand the reach of the Air Force's limited fleet of crewed fighters and conduct missions such as strike ops, reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and service decoys. Pretty cool, huh? I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. This is from Air Force Times. So, well, I'm reading stuff from Air Force Times right now, just so we cite our sources. You know what I mean? Let's see. That's pretty much all they have. Oh. Huh. Pentagon silent. Aviation experts baffled by Trump's fighter comments. Oh, yeah. This is great. This is President Donald Trump commented Thursday in Qatar about future fighter jets planned for the U.S. military have baffled observers and been met with silence from the Pentagon. During a roundtable discussion in Doha, flanked by the heads of Boeing and GE Aerospace, Trump surprised many in the military aviation world by asserting a twin-engine F-35 successor, which he dubbed the F-55, was in works. That shit's funny. The F-35, we're doing an upgrade, a simple upgrade, but we're also going to do an F-55. I'm going to call it an F-55, and that's what's going to be a substantial upgrade. But it's going to also be with two engines. I can't do a very good Trump what do you call it, impression. I wish I could, because it'd be even better. It's such a beautiful airplane. It's probably the best airplane I've ever seen in my life. The F-35, we're doing such an amazing job doing an upgrade, simple upgrade. Now, don't get me wrong. I may be trying to have fun with the way that he talks, but you know, I don't not support the dude, but I'm not going to get into politics here. This is just a funny thing. But we're also doing an F-55. Yeah, it's going to be the best, probably the best. I did that. I did it, and it's the F-55. I came up with that. The F-47 is cool, but the F-55 is even cooler. And you see how I'm like going into another voice here? Yeah, talking like this. Yeah. Trump added that a modernized version of the F-22, which we refer to as F-22 Super, was in the works. Dude, that would be sick, bro. F-47, F-55, F-35, F-22 Super. Dang. Did you guys hear me sniff? Like there? Did you guys hear me sniff? I'm not editing that out. Fuck edits, bro. We don't strive for perfection around here. And we're not perfect. Neither is life. So no edits. Anyways, I don't know what is going on with me here. Anyways, Frank Kendall, the Secretary of the Air Force during former President Joe Biden's administration. Whoa. Pardon me. Said in an interview with Defense News that it's unclear what Trump was referred to when he discussed the F-22 Super. But it may have been reference to the F-47. But Trump's F-55 comments came with no additional details, and the government has not provided any further clarity on what he meant. Unless they are coming up with something, and he's like, and he fucking spilt the beans, and they're like, oh, shit. We shouldn't say anything so we don't acknowledge it. Yeah, I don't know. Crazy, man. Crazy. Let's see what else we're going to get into. Yeah, that's it for Air Force Times. Let's go into another one here. This is the War Zone. The War Zone, which is a site that gives me stuff about all kinds of aviation stuff and all kinds of stuff. Okay, Trump's Golden Dome missile shield and what we just learned is its implications. The Golden Dome missile defense will cost about $175 billion and be operational in less than 3 years. That's a big ass dome. Like, is it supposed to cover the entire U.S.? Like, where is it? Is it going to be floating above the United States? Where's he putting it? Is it going to be on rail? Is it going to be a railroad thing? What, the Golden Dome? Where is he putting it? Is he building a fucking? Is he going to build a mosque and then just like put it there? Oh man, let's hold on. Let me see if. All right, let me turn this off for a second. Let me see if I can share my screen and maybe you guys can hear it. As I play it. I'm going to play this.
In the campaign, I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of foreign missile attack. And that's what we're doing. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we have officially selected an architecture for this state-of-the-art system that will deploy next-generation technologies across the land, sea, and space, including space-based sensors and interceptors. And Canada has called us, and they want to be a part of it. So we'll be talking to them. They want to have protection also. So as usual, we help Canada do the best we can. This design for the Golden Dome will integrate
Golden Dome
our existing defense.
That's gonna be crazy, dude.
Should be fully operational before the end of.
Let's see what else. Anybody else talk about anything else? No. Golden Dome, that's nuts, bro. Yeah. I guess it'd be cool. But like I said, where are you going to put it? We got a lot of land. We got a lot of stuff going on here in the U.S. We got a lot of geographical things. A lot of mountains, desert. We've got a lot of water. Texarkana, Texas. We got Texas. Are they going to put it in Texas? That would be cool. Or are they going to like build one, test it, and then put it fucking elsewhere? Yeah, I don't know. It's something to ponder, think about if you're following this stuff. Oh, here we go. This is posted 3 hours ago. Air Force Chief responds to possibility of buying new Block 80 F-16s. Are those even out yet? The Air Force is still facing an aging fighting... An aging... I can't talk. The Air Force is still facing an aging fighter fleet, and its top officer said loyal wingman drones won't solve the problem alone. That's a cool F-16. RBAF. Let's see. Chief of Staff of the Air Force General David Allen today responded by questioning regarding the potential of a new version of the prolific F-16, a so-called Block 80, as a way of increasing the combat mass of service in the future, while Air Force doesn't at this point have a plan to start buying Falcons again, not Vipers. Okay, let's get this fucking straight again. Okay. They are not Vipers. The only reason that they're fucking called Vipers is because Vipers were originally called Vipers because they're in a fucking wild weasel squadron. Not every F-16 and any fucking F-16 fucking pilot or fucking crew dog or whatever is listening. It's an F-16 fighting Falcon, not an F-16 fighting Viper. Fighting Falcon. It is not a Viper. Get it through your fucking skulls, dude. Just like the fucking F-35 is not a Panther. I'm a Panther driver. No, it's a Lightning, dude. Come on, bro. It's not a Panther. It's not a Lightning. It's not a or it is a Lightning. I'm sorry. It's not a Panther. It's not a Viper. It's not any of that shit. Keep it the same. F-15, Eagle, Strike Eagle, Eagle. They kept it as an Eagle. F-22 Raptor. They're just trying to be fucking cool like the A-10 or the Warthog. Yeah, I'm going to name it something that's not named. Okay. The A-10 is the only one that's stuck with that shit. And can be that's the only thing. That's the only thing that can be, or the buff. The B-52, the buff, whatever, man. The F-16 is not a Viper. The F-16 is not a Viper. It is a fighting Falcon. Fighting Falcon. The Panther is not a real thing. The F-35 is not a Panther. The F-16 is not a Viper. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now you guys screwed me up. Whatever, man. They're talking about buying Block 80s. Possibly. Nobody's fucking paying for it, but they're talking about buying Block 80s and some shit. Not Vipers. They're not fucking Vipers. You tell pilots and they get sad. Excuse me. You know, they get sad because then they go, yeah, well, that's what it's called because they call it that. Shut up, stick actuator. Get in your pajamas and go home. No, you're bad. Oh, gosh. Bad stick actuator. It's not a Viper. It's a Falcon. It's not a fucking Panther. It's a fucking Lightning or a fucking whatever the fuck you want to call it, but not a Panther. It had nothing. How does an F-35 even compare to a fucking Panther? How? Please tell me how. If they wanted to call it the fucking Panther, they want to call it the fucking Panther. Maybe you should talk to your fucking chief of staff and be like, hey, let's change the name. Fucking, oh, gosh. Eagle. Just keep it the way it is, man. Fighting Flacken. Oh, Fighting Flacken. Fucking Eagle. Strike Eagle. The new fucking ballin' Eagles EX, boy. Fucking F-15. I love that bird. Way better than the F-16. Way better than the Viper. Look at me, I'm flying a Viper. Get the fuck out of here. No. Bad. I digress. Whatever that means. I've heard people say it. Oh, check this out. Check this out, you guys. This coming Thursday, which is like in the next 2 days or a few days, whatever, me and my band are playing at the world famous Whiskey A Go-Go down in Hollywood, Sunset Strip. We're going to go play. We're going to rip faces, melt faces. I'm going to go wheedly, wheedly, wheedly. If I had my guitar connected to my amp right now, I'd play, but I don't. Anyways, that's what we're doing. I'm excited about it, so I wanted to talk about it. I know it's not aviation shit, but it's good. All right. Now I've gone off on a tangent about the fucking Vipers. Ooh, check this out. Okay. Let's see. Additional F-15E Strike Eagles arrive in Diego Garcia. Where's Diego Garcia? I don't even know where that motherfucker is. Anyways, the U.S. Air Force increases number of F-15 sent to Diego Garcia to provide force protection. The U.S. defense official has confirmed the war zone. The fighters are there to defend the island. The bomber contingent has called it home for nearly 2 months. Now amid rising tensions with Iran. During America's accelerated bombing campaign, the Houthis, if I'm saying it right, Houthis in Yemen, B-2s arrived at Diego Garcia and have since been replaced by B-52s. You know what? Let me go off on another side note here, okay? Talking about B-52s. When I was in the Air Force one time, and I've probably told this, and you guys have heard this, I was refueling an airplane. It was between flights, it was through flight. So that means it was going to go fly again. And this fuel truck driver, who's an older guy, you could tell he's been like in fuels for a long time. He's probably got several holes in his head and things like that. He walks up to me. He goes, "Hey, man, you know, I think I've seen me and B-52." And he sounded, I'm making it sound like Bill Cosby a little bit, but he sounded like this, like a Harry Carey and Bill Cosby. He's like, hey, did you see that B-52 that was flying around here? And I was like, man, we're on a fighter base, dude. There are no heavies here. Like the closest B-52 is in Louisiana, like several 100 miles away. He's like, nah, man, I seen the B-52. It was flying with the nose down. That's how you can tell it's a B-52. And it disappeared into the jet stream. And it was a very cloudy day, right? Okay, so I don't know if he confused the jet stream with like the clouds that were up in the sky, you know, because Florida has like a lot of clouds and stuff. And he was like, it disappeared. It flies with the nose down. That's how you can tell it's a B-52. And then it disappeared in the jet stream. It is gone. And I'm looking around. I can't find it, but it's one of my favorites. Did you see it? And he stopped and like stared at me for a few minutes, expected me to answer like you know, like I wasn't laughing in my head or like dying already, because he was like legitimately insane, or like he was like, I did, it's there. You can tell it's B-52 because it flies with the nose down. And he put his hand out, like showing like how a B-52 flies, you know, with the fingertips flying, like pointing down. And then he's, you know, with his hand, like his hand was a B-52. But then it flies with the nose down and disappears into the jet stream. Hey! This crazy old dude. I was like, hey, man, I got to, like, go refuel my jet over here, you know? And then every time he'd stop, every time he'd like refuel my airplane, he'd be like, man, I'm still looking for the B-52. I haven't seen it, but I swear I've seen it that day. I'm still looking. Man, he's just always on one about the B-52, which is crazy. Yay. Oh. But yeah, anyways, let's continue. Sorry about that. There are now 6 F-15Es on the island, said the official speaking, on condition of anonymity. I can't talk today. Anonymity. Did I say it right there? I probably said it right. The official's comments are in line with new satellite imagery reviewed by the war zone. That's right. We're getting our information from the war zone today. We're citing our sources, people. Oh, yeah, dude. And you could catch a lot of it on, what do you call it? Flight radar? Dude, if you guys don't have flight radar, y'all should get it because it's fucking cool, dude. It's an app on your phone. You could pay or you could get it for free. And then if you see an airplane or whatever flying above you, and this is how much of an airplane nerd I am. If you see an airplane flying above you and shit, you can look on there and be like, hey, what airplane is that? Oh, that's a Piper. That's a cool one. Who's it belong to? And then I'll say like private owner or whatever. And then he'll be like, ooh, that's a Cirrus. I like that airplane. Or you could be like, ooh, look at this military airplane. I wonder what they're doing out there. Probably super secret squirrel stuff with aliens and whatnot, you know? And then you could like get in your own head and put on your tinfoil hat and then like blog. Do people still blog? You could blog about like, I was on Flight Radar 24 and just seen a tanker do 10 circles around one area of the desert. I didn't see any other airplanes, but I know they're doing something out there with aliens. Yo, you can do shit like that, you know? Put it in your blog. Are blogs still cool? Are they making a comeback? Can you guys like comment to that to me or whatever? I should start a blog, huh? What would I blog about? If I started a blog, Red's rants about stupid shit that pilots say. That's a good one. I could blog about that. I could say, hello, I'm Red and I like airplanes and pilots think they're really cool, but they're not. I mean, they get to do a cool job. They're cool inside the crew station or the cockpit. But besides that, they're fuckboys when they're on the ground, you know? Like, for instance, I was riding to work as, you know, my janitor job, riding to work, and you can split lanes or filter lanes at an intersection when you're on a motorcycle, all right? Motorcycle. I was on a motorcycle. Instead of like just plainly moving over or even staying where the fuck he was, this fuckboy in pajamas decided to start moving into the center lane to where I fuck up his car. Now, luckily, I'm quick on the draw, and I fucking went past his bitch ass. Excuse me, what is going on, man? But I went past his bitch ass, and he looked pretty sour because he's, he's probably looking for a free fucking payday. Like, look at this motorcycle. He's going to scratch my paint with his fucking bags when he goes by. You douche canoe. They're fuckboys outside of the cockpit. Anyways. Not all of them. Some of you guys are cool. All right. But yeah, some of you guys are fucking cool. Sometimes. Anyways, get that flight radar fucking app on your thing. It's fucking cool, dude. Man, there's a lot of sniffage going on. I'm really snippy today. Oh. Oh, here we go. This is about a helichopper. The MV-75 official designation given to future U.S. Army tilt-rotor assault aircraft. The Army is now pushing to speed up delivery of its baseline MV-75s with special operations versions also on the horizon. The U.S. Army's future long-range assault aircraft, or FLRAA, F-L-R-A-A, FLRAA, tilt rotors will be designated MV-75 as the service announced today at the Army Aviation Association America's annual Mission Solutions Summit. In 2022, the Army pickled a design from the Bell based on companies, pickled and Taco Bell. I almost said Taco Bell. Cool. They're putting out a new freaking helicopter. You should check it out, dude. It looks kind of cool. It looks very sleek. Very fast. Very sleek and fast. Yes. Very sleek and fast. I shall fly it. Go away, Sean Connery. Anyways, see what else we can get into today. Oh. China's J-10C fighter separating myth from reality. Yes. China's J-10C is on the spotlight after claims of Pakistani air kills against their Indian counterparts. But just how capable is it? Now, see, okay, so with Pakistan and India, sorry. Fuck, I can't fucking talk today. Gosh, dude. Is that why there's less, like, robocalls, dude? Is that why there's less, like, people calling you, being like, hello, my name is Patrick, but then they have an accent, and they're like, I am from New York. My name is Patrick, and they have this crazy accent, and they're like, I am from... They try to scam you from, the main ones are like Amazon or whatever. They're like, they get on your, I don't know. Have you guys ever seen like scammer payback shit? Where these scammers will get on your screen and make you think you don't have like, they'll change like the HTML on your screen because they have this peer-to-peer sharing type fucking software where they can get on and they can fuck with your shit and make it look like you don't have as much money as you really do. And then they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to send your money back to you. But then now you have to go get they oversend you money, or they oversend you money. Yeah, no, okay, let me start again. They're trying to give you like a discount or a refund on something on like your antivirus or some shit. And then instead of $200, they send $20,000. They make it look like they sent you $20,000. They make it look like you got $20,000 in a bank account. And then you go over and they're like, well, the only way that we're going to have to fix this, or I'm going to call the FBI. And people are like, the FBI, I'm freaking out. Bah! So then they're like, go to the fucking Target and go grab some fucking cards that you could put like $5,000 on each and send me like 4 of those motherfuckers. And then they're like, you don't call your bank. You don't call anybody. You got to keep on the phone with me. You know what I mean? Like, they're crazy. Crazy. Man, we've been talking for a long time today, you guys. We're at the 46-minute mark, so we'll get away from the news for now. We've heard enough fucking news. I'm tired of the fucking news anyways. Maybe. I mean, I do like to talk about airplanes. Airplane news is cool. You guys like airplane news, I think. Anyways, I want to talk about one of the squadrons I was in while I was in the Air Force. I'm going to give you a little history on it. It's called the 1st Fighter Squadron. And I might even take you through a little bit of history of like Kingman. But we'll see where we get, okay? See where we get here. All right. Today, I'm going to take you on a ride through the history of a squadron that's been flying, fighting, flexing for decades. I mean, now it's deactivated. So it was deactivated back in 2006. But they've been flying, fighting, and flexing for decades. The 1st Fighter Squadron, also known as the Fighting Furies. Pretty awesome. Now, before you even ask, yes, Fighting Furies sounds badass because it is badass. And yes, if you're picturing a bunch of angry pilots with jet fuel for blood, you're pretty much on the right track. Also, maintainers with fueled by caffeine, hate, and nicotine. The 1st Fighter Squadron, where it all began, the story kicks off in January 1941, right before the U.S. officially jumped into World War II. The 1st Pursuit Squadron / Interceptor, that's what it was called back then, was activated at Selfridge Field, Michigan. And what were they flying? The P-35 and P-36 Hawk. Some early warbirds that look kind of clunky today, but hey, back then they were cutting edge. But not for long. Pretty soon the squadron upgraded. Pretty soon the squadron upgraded to the legendary P-40 Warhawk. You know, the shark mouth painted guns, blades, and fighter that got famous with the Flying Tigers. Man, I love being in the 1st. I was only there for a short time, but, you know, it was fun. I met some really, really fucking awesome people that I fucking still talk to today. If you join the military, you will meet friends that you will have for fucking decades. And you will pick up right where you left off, even if you haven't seen these motherfuckers in a long time. I love it. I love them. World War II threw the squadron into the fire. They deployed overseas, operating out of places like Panama, to protect the Canal Zone, which is a pretty big deal considering everybody needed that shortcut between the oceans. Post-World War II and the jet age, after the war, things changed. I believe they also flew in Europe as well. I'd have to go check back on this thing. But, you know, I did kind of a short thing. After the war, things changed and changed fast. Propellers were out, jets were in, and clearly, in the early Cold War years, the 1st Fighter Squadron picked up the F-80 Shooting Star, America's first operational fighter jet. And let me be clear, the 1st Fighter Squadron is the original 1st Fighter Squadron. We're not talking about the douchebags over at Langley that have the FF on their fucking tails. We're talking about the original first fighter squadron, the fucking badass one, the one that's deactivated, the one that everybody wants to be. And from there, it was a parade of new jets. The F-86 Sabre, the F-84 Thunderjet, and eventually the F-102 Delta Dagger, one of those crazy pointy Cold War interceptors that were really fast. Throughout this time, the squadron bounced between a few bases, but major ones included George Air Force Base, California, and deployments in Europe to help with NATO air defense. Vietnam era and the Phantom years. By the time Vietnam heated up, the first fighter squadron wasn't in the jungle, but they were busy stateside and overseas, keeping the Soviet bear in check. They transitioned into flying the F-4 Phantom II, a twin-engine monster that could fight, bomb, and scare the hell out of anything flying against it. Also turned like a refrigerator. Didn't have a built-in gun. Was a fucking wild weasel, so it was kind of cool. Now we're talking business. The F-4 was a game changer, and the Fighting Furies adapted right along with it. And now we get to the Eagle era. The Eagle era. In the late 70s and early 80s, the first fighter squadron transitioned into what many call the greatest superiority fighter of all time, the F-15 Eagle. From 1975 onward, based out of Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida, the Fighting Furies took on a new mission, training brand new F-15 pilots how to fly, fight, and win. Also, an integral part of training new maintainers for the F-15, as that was their hot training base before they go off into their missions and get OJT. And let me tell you, when your squadron patch has a lightning-wielding Fury Warrior on it, and your call sign is the Fighting Furies, and you're flying F-15 Eagles, you've officially become a badass. Yeah, and you have. You know, in the final years, the first fighter squadron continued training Eagle drivers and Eagle keepers all the way up through the early 2000s. But in 2006, as I said before, after decades of excellence, the first fighter squadron was inactivated. Budget cuts, realignments, you know, all the fun stuff that happens when the paperwork people get involved. Goddamn bean counters. But just because the squadron's flag got rolled up doesn't mean the spirit of the Fighting Furies died. Every single pilot and maintainer that came through that unit carried a piece of the legacy into the skies and into the rest of the Air Force. Like I said, it was one of my first squadrons. I loved it. And I think everybody else who was in that squadron as well loved it too. So let me give you a quick summary, a quick recap, if you will, of what we've done, what we've gone through today. Our episode. We did This Day in Aviation. We talked about Robert Olds. We talked about Robert Olds, him shooting fuckers down, fucking doing a fucking dogfight. Talked about Amelia Earhart and her fucking cool Lockheed plane. We talked about, what else did we talk about? We talked about the news. We talked about some drones. We talked about some F-16s, maybe Block 80. That's weird. Talked about the F-55 and the Super 22 from President Trump. We went on to talk about the new helicopter from the Army that's coming out. We also talked about our patrons, who are now called Ramp Rats. And you can go over to patreon.com/Keys of the Jet podcast and become a Ramp Rat for just $5 a month. Yeah, and then we've got some merch coming out. You'll get pre-sale stuff and probably like a 5 to 10% discount on all things. I'm trying to make a challenge coin and maybe a keychain, like one of those like remove before flight keychain kind of thing. Let's see. And then finally, we talked about the first fighter squad in the Fighting Furies who flew F-15s. Let's see. They stood up in 1941 at Selfridge Field, flying P-35s and P-40s. Protected the Panama Canal in World War II. I believe also flew in Europe. I might be wrong. Went full jet age with the F-80, F-86, F-102. Rocked the F-4 Phantom during the Cold War. Trained F-15 Eagle pilots at Tyndall Air Force Base and maintainers. And wrapped up a legendary run in 2006. That's the first fighter squad in the Fighting Furies. From propellers to jet engines, they were badass and owned the skies. We talked about a lot today. We've gone through so many things. Next time, you know what? If I get home early from work, I might do another episode tomorrow. We'll see how many episodes we can do in a row every single day. I'm not going to promise it, but if I'm feeling froggy, we might do another episode tomorrow. Just, put some out, get some stuff for you guys. But yeah, I appreciate everyone joining us, everyone listening. Remember, you can find us on all of the social medias places, right? Social media, you can find us on YouTube. We'll be live streaming on Twitch. We're on Rumble. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X. We're on everything, man. We're really on everything. Of course, it is my fault. We haven't updated a lot of things lately. But again, I have to kick myself and keep myself on track. So that way you guys stay with us this entire time. And again, I really appreciate you supporting us, listening to us. Remember, you can catch the podcast anywhere podcasts are broadcast. You can go to rss.com, look on our page there. You can find it on Amazon streaming. You can find it on Spotify streaming. You can find it on it's on YouTube that you could just set it and forget it and listen to it in the background. It's on Apple. Yeah, it's everywhere. It is freaking everywhere. But thanks, dudes. I appreciate it. I'm Red. This is Keys of the Jet. And remember, next time someone tells you about a Fighting Fury or the first fighter squadron, just know, they're talking about one of the finest squadrons to ever be around and hit that afterburner. Again, thank you to our patrons, those ramp rats out there. Fuck you, Cody, Gregory, Goodyear, the mayor, and Freaky Freeland. We really appreciate everything and all of you ramp rats do, and everybody else listening out there. Hey, go like, subscribe, share with your friends. You can go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. It's free. It's all free. It just helps us out later. All right, you guys. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go upload this real quick so that way you guys got something. And probably order some Taco Bell since we started talking about Taco Bell. Probably a cheesy gordita crunch. Maybe. Or a Crunchwrap Supreme or some tacos. I don't know, man. I'm going to go order something. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Peace. Also, yeah, I don't have anything. Don't call it a fucking Viper. It's a fighter. It's a fighting Falcon, not a Panther. Fighting Falcon, not a Viper. F-35 is not a Panther. Okay, peace. Fuck off.